Let's face it, every man who's ever been friend-zoned knows the silent frustration that comes with it. You're the guy she trusts, confides in, laughs with, and maybe even leans on when other men hurt her. But when it comes to romance, you're invisible. You give, you listen, you care. Yet somehow, you're never the one she chooses. Here's the part most men hate to admit. The friend zone doesn't just happen. It's earned. Not because you're a bad guy, but because somewhere along the line, you taught her to see you as safe instead of desired. You built comfort instead of tension, and attraction can't live where there's only comfort. The controversial truth is this: women don't friend-zone men they feel genuine attraction for. They friend-zone the men who try to earn love instead of evoking it. You can't convince a woman to want you by being her emotional support system. That only strengthens her perception that you're the nice guy she can lean on, not the man she craves. But getting out of the friend zone isn't impossible. It's not about manipulation or pretending to be someone you're not. It's about resetting how she perceives you, how she feels when she's around you. When you understand that shift, you stop being the guy she runs to for advice about other men and start becoming the man she looks at differently. Phase 1. Recognizing you're in the friend zone. Before you can escape the friend zone, you first have to see it for what it really is. Not a place she puts you in, but a position you accept without realizing it. Most men in the friend zone don't even know they're there until it's too late. They think being patient and kind will eventually win her over. But what they're really doing is proving that they can be everything except the man she desires. You know you're in the friend zone when she talks to you about other guys, when she cancels plans with you but keeps you around for emotional comfort, or when she uses phrases like, "You're such a good friend," or "I wish more guys were like you." Those are not compliments. They're clues. They tell you she sees you as dependable, but not desirable. The biggest mistake men make is misreading attention as attraction. Just because she texts you every day doesn't mean she wants you. Sometimes you're just her emotional backup, the one she goes to when the man she actually wants isn't giving her what she needs. That's not love, it's convenience. Imagine this. You've been hanging out with a girl for months, always available when she calls. She laughs at your jokes, shares her secrets, and even hugs you goodbye. But when you finally confess your feelings, she says, "I don't want to ruin our friendship." That moment hurts, but it's also your wake-up call. You've built a bond with no romantic charge, and she's learned to see you as safe instead of sexy. Recognizing that truth is the first step to changing it. Until you admit that she doesn't see you as a potential partner, you'll keep playing a role that keeps you invisible. 2. Accepting responsibility for how you got there. The hardest part about being in the friend zone isn't realizing she doesn't see you that way. It's accepting that you helped create that reality. Most men want to blame the woman for leading them on, but the truth is, she only responded to what you showed her. You built the dynamic by being too available, too agreeable, and too scared to show your true intentions. When a woman senses that a man is emotionally invested but afraid to make a move, she subconsciously loses respect for him. Attraction thrives on polarity, that tension between masculine direction and feminine response. But when a man hides his desire behind constant favors, emotional support, and polite conversations, he kills that polarity. She stops feeling the spark and starts seeing him as a comfort zone, not a challenge. Taking responsibility doesn't mean blaming yourself harshly. It means seeing where you gave away your power. Every time you prioritized her needs over your own, every time you held back your attraction to avoid rejection, you told her, "I'm safe, I won't risk anything." But attraction grows from risk, not comfort. Think of it like this. You've been spending time with a woman you really like. She's always calling you to vent about her problems. You listen, you comfort her, you even cancel your own plans to make her feel better. She says you're the only one who understands her, and you take that as progress. But she never flirts, never shows interest, and the relationship never moves forward. Why? Because you've taught her that your role is to be there for her, not with her. When you finally accept that you trained her to see you this way, you gain control again. You stop acting like a victim and start making conscious changes. You realize that attraction isn't built on pity or patience. It's built on presence, confidence, and clarity. Accepting responsibility is the moment you stop waiting for her to choose you and start deciding what kind of man you'll be from here on out. 3. Shifting your energy from pleasing to leading. If you've been stuck in the friend zone, there's a good chance you've been living in pleaser mode. You do whatever it takes to make her happy, hoping your kindness will be noticed. That one day, she'll wake up and realize you're the one. But attraction doesn't work that way. You can't charm your way into someone's desire through endless acts of service. What truly changes how a woman feels about you is the energy you bring. And that shift begins when you stop trying to please her and start leading with confidence. Pleasing comes from fear. You're afraid of losing her, afraid of rejection, afraid of making things uncomfortable. So you stay agreeable, you hide your opinions, and you go along with whatever she wants. It feels safe, but safety kills attraction. Leading, on the other hand, comes from strength. It's when you know who you are, what you want, and you're not afraid to express it, even if it means she might not like it. Women are drawn to men who create direction and certainty. They don't want another friend who constantly seeks validation. They want someone who naturally commands respect through action and presence. The moment you start making decisions instead of waiting for approval, she begins to see you differently. Imagine you've always been the guy who waits for her to choose what to do. One day, instead of asking, you say, "Let's grab dinner Friday. I know a place you'll love." She hesitates for a second, but you stay calm and confident. Suddenly, the energy shifts. She's not used to seeing you lead, and that unfamiliar confidence sparks curiosity. And curiosity is the seed of attraction. This doesn't mean you become arrogant or controlling. It means you stop basing your worth on how much she likes you and start showing her that your life moves forward with or without her. When you lead, you stop orbiting around her world, and that's exactly when she starts noticing yours. 4. Creating healthy distance and mystery. One of the biggest reasons men stay stuck in the friend zone is because they never give a woman the space to miss them. You're always available, always responding instantly, always ready to listen. It feels like loyalty, but what it really does is make you predictable. And predictability kills attraction. People crave what feels slightly out of reach. When she knows you'll always be there no matter what, she stops valuing your presence. Creating distance doesn't mean playing games or pretending you don't care. It means reclaiming your emotional space and reminding both of you that you have your own life. When you start focusing on your own growth, interests, and goals, she naturally starts noticing the shift. The energy changes. You're no longer the man waiting for her attention. You become the man she has to earn time with. Think about how it feels when someone suddenly pulls back their attention after you've gotten used to it. You notice, right? You start wondering what changed, where they went, and why they're not as focused on you anymore. That's the same emotional shift that happens when you create healthy distance. It introduces curiosity. It rebalances the dynamic. Mystery plays a powerful role here too. When she knows everything about you, every thought, every emotion, every routine, there's nothing left to explore. Attraction thrives in the unknown. You don't need to be secretive. but you also don't need to overshare or constantly seek emotional closeness. Leave a little room for her imagination to fill in the blanks. At some point, she should feel that you're moving forward with or without her. That awareness can be magnetic. When she senses that you no longer orbit her, she starts paying attention again. Not because you manipulated her, but because you've regained your self-respect. Creating distance isn't rejection. It's recentering your value. And once you do that, the way she sees you begins to shift in ways words alone could never achieve. 5. Rebuilding your image. Through self-improvement. When a woman has mentally placed you in the friend zone, it often means she stopped seeing you as a man who excites her. She knows you, she's comfortable around you, but she doesn't feel that spark. The only way to change that perception is not by convincing her, but by evolving yourself, quietly, consistently, and confidently. Self-improvement isn't about trying to become someone else just to impress her. It's about reconnecting with the best version of you, the one who had dreams, direction, and pride before she ever came along. When you start focusing on your physical health, your mindset, and your ambitions, people notice. Your posture changes, your tone deepens, your energy shifts. You naturally become more attractive because you radiate purpose. Think about how drawn people are to someone who's clearly growing. When you're leveling up, getting stronger, more confident, more focused, it communicates without words that your life has momentum. And women are drawn to momentum. It signals stability, strength, and leadership. It's easy to lose yourself when you've spent months or years trying to win someone's affection. You start living reactively, waiting on texts, overthinking conversations, adjusting your behavior based on how she responds. But when you start rebuilding your image through growth, the power dynamic flips. Suddenly, she's the one observing you. She starts wondering what changed, why you seem more centered, why your attention feels more selective now. This phase is also about emotional improvement. You learn to handle rejection with grace, to communicate boundaries calmly, and to pursue your goals without needing approval. That kind of emotional maturity is rare, and it stands out immediately. In the end, improving yourself isn't just about making her notice. It's about making you proud again. When you look in the mirror and see progress, confidence becomes natural. And once confidence becomes part of your daily presence, people feel it before you ever have to prove it. That's how attraction rebuilds, not through chasing her validation, but through becoming the man who doesn't need it. 6. Flirting and reintroducing romantic tension. Once you've rebalanced the dynamic and started improving yourself, it's time to bring back what's been missing from the start. Tension. Not arguments or drama, but romantic tension, the kind that makes her see you as more than a friend again. This is the moment where your energy changes from being predictable and safe to being intriguing and slightly unpredictable. Flirting isn't about cheesy lines or trying to be overly smooth. It's about communicating confidence through tone, timing, and presence. When you flirt the right way, you show her that you're comfortable in your own skin and unafraid of attraction. You're no longer the guy seeking permission to express interest. You are the interest. Many men avoid flirting with women they care about because they fear rejection or ruining the friendship. But that fear is exactly what keeps them stuck. Flirting is what separates friends from potential lovers. It adds playfulness, light teasing, and emotional energy that triggers chemistry. When you stay too polite, too formal, or too emotionally neutral, she never feels the charge that creates attraction. You can feel the difference when someone flirts with genuine intent. It's in the eye contact that lingers just a second longer, the tone that's slightly teasing, the confidence that doesn't need reassurance. It's not about trying too hard. It's about being bold enough to express interest naturally, without pressure. The key is subtlety. You don't announce your attraction. You let her feel it through the way you engage. You allow moments of silence. You look at her with certainty, and you stay relaxed even when the energy shifts. That's when she starts sensing that something between you has changed. Flirting isn't manipulation, it's expression. It's how you remind her that you're a man, not just a friend. It brings the excitement back into your connection, and if done right, it awakens curiosity. Because when she starts feeling that spark again, she stops seeing you as the safe choice and starts wondering what it might feel like to finally cross that line. Phase 7. Setting boundaries and standards. This is the part where a lot of men still mess up, even after realizing they're in the friend zone, improving themselves, and trying to build attraction again. They forget the most important element of respect: boundaries. You can't expect a woman to see you as valuable if you keep acting like your time, energy, and attention come at no cost. Too many men stay available to women who have already made it clear they don't see them that way. You keep answering every message, showing up when she needs something, or being her emotional backup when another man disappoints her. And then you wonder why she doesn't take you seriously. It's because you've shown her that no matter how little she gives, you'll always be there giving more. That's not loyalty, that's self-neglect. You have to wake up and realize attraction fades when there's no self-respect. A man who allows himself to be treated like an option slowly teaches everyone around him that his presence isn't valuable. Setting standards isn't about arrogance, it's about protecting your dignity. When a woman crosses a line, when she disrespects your time, when she only reaches out on her terms, you need to be willing to pull back. This isn't about being cold or punishing her. It's about showing that you have a life outside of her moods and needs. The moment she sees that you no longer tolerate being taken for granted, she starts reassessing her view of you. Respect often comes when you stop begging for it and start demanding it through consistent action. A lot of men confuse patience with weakness. They think if they wait long enough, she'll magically change her mind. But women don't fall for patience. They fall for presence, strength, and certainty. You can't inspire respect by being endlessly available. Sometimes, the strongest move you can make is stepping back and showing her that your attention is something to be earned, not assumed. And when you finally do that, everything about how she sees you begins to shift. Finally, knowing when to walk away for good. Here's the hard truth most men refuse to face. Sometimes, no matter what you do, the friend zone isn't a temporary pit. It's a permanent state. And the longer you cling to someone who doesn't see you as more than a friend, the more you sacrifice your confidence, your time, and your self-respect. Knowing when to walk away is not defeat, it's clarity. Many men stay stuck because they've convinced themselves that persistence will pay off. They keep hoping, adjusting, and bending over backward, believing that their loyalty will eventually spark desire. The reality is that desire cannot be forced. If she's emotionally locked into seeing you as just a friend, no amount of flirting, self-improvement, or boundary setting will change her perception. At least not fully. Clinging only reinforces the role you've already played. Walking away doesn't mean giving up on love. It means giving yourself permission to be valued the way you deserve. It's about reclaiming your energy and redirecting it toward women who can actually match your emotional availability and attraction. When you remove yourself from a situation where you're undervalued, you regain power. The world starts noticing your absence, and sometimes, ironically, she may begin to see you differently. But that's a bonus, not the goal. It's also a test of self-awareness. Can you recognize when you're hurting yourself more than helping? Can you separate your ego from your value? Too many men mistake lingering for loyalty when in reality it's fear of rejection or loss. Walking away requires courage because it forces you to accept that not every connection is meant to evolve romantically. Ultimately, knowing when to let go is about prioritizing yourself. Your time, your confidence, and your emotional well-being matter more than chasing someone who won't meet you halfway. When you finally step away, you open the door to opportunities where your affection is reciprocated and where attraction is natural, not forced. It's the final lesson in the friend zone. Respect yourself enough to leave, and you'll never look at being just a friend the same way again. Here's the thing. The friend zone isn't a punishment. It's a reflection of how you've been showing up in her life. And if you're honest with yourself, in many cases, you've trained her to see you as safe, reliable, and predictable, but not as a man she desires. That's the controversial part. Being nice and loyal isn't always the answer. In fact, it's often the reason men get stuck, watching women they care about invest in other men while they remain invisible. But here's the upside. Recognizing the problem is the first step toward reclaiming your power. You don't have to stay in a role that diminishes your worth. Every step we discussed, accepting responsibility, building confidence, creating tension, setting boundaries, and even knowing when to walk away, is about one thing: helping you become the man she can't ignore. Attraction is about energy, presence, and self-respect, not endless patience or emotional handouts. I want to hear from you. Share your experiences in the comments, the struggles, the mistakes, and even the successes. I read every message, and I'll reach out to personally guide some of you, because this isn't just a video. It's a conversation. Together, we can break patterns, shift perspectives, and build the confidence to finally step out of the friend zone for good. If you found this video useful, hit like, subscribe, and turn on notifications so you don't miss the next uploads. Every new video dives deeper into relationships, attraction, and psychological dynamics. The kind of insight most men never get. You deserve to know the truth, and I'll keep bringing it to you straight, without fluff, without excuses. Remember, the friend zone isn't forever, but only if you wake up, step up, and stop settling for being invisible. I'll see you in the next one.